Okay. Okay. Sometimes my love may be put on hold. Sometimes my heart may seem awful cold.
Upon this earth for the solitude.
These times come.
Upon this earth for the solitude.
These times
Upon
go.
this earth for the land for the victorious ones who want to live.
As long as I live, all you need to know is
Upon this earth for the solitude.
this old dog
Upon this earth for the land for the
ain't
victorious
about
ones
to
who want to live.
forget
Upon this earth
all we've
upon this
had
earth for the solitude.
and all that's next.
Upon this earth for the solitude. Upon this earth for the land for the
Long as my heart's beating in my chest, this old dog ain't about to forget. Often a heart turns to change its mind. A new day decides on a new design. New day gets set on another way.
upon this earth for the solitude.
As long as I live, all I've got to say.
Upon this earth for the solitude. Upon this earth for the land for the victorious ones who want to live. Upon this earth for the
Ain't about to forget
upon this earth for the solitude. Upon this
all we've had and all that's next.
upon this earth for the solitude.
Long as my heart's beating in my chest. This old dog ain't about to forget. Très bien. Canadienne.
Canadien.
Yeah, Western.
Canadien.
Yeah. There you go.
Upon this earth for the solitude. Upon this earth for the land for the upon this earth for the solitude. Upon this earth for the land for the victorious ones who want to live. This is the same for the not for the known. This is second beauty for the faint. Earth is a dim direction for the him. It could be the turn of banner for the dormant, the karma for the pay, the homage and the gift of the offerings. The holy master for the palm that the final seas for the reliance. Drink up of the heavenly nectar with the six rings of me. The truth for the other and your other.
Upon this earth for the solitude. Upon this earth for the land for the victorious ones who want to live. It's the same for the not for the living. It's the second beauty for the faint. Your earth is a 10 direction for the end. You could be the turn of banner for the dormant, the karma for the pay, the homage and the gift of offerings. And you could be the holy master for the palm that define the seas for the reliance. Drink it from the heavenly nectar with the sustains supreme. So you can innate the truth for the other and your other freedom. He is the supreme. He is the divine for the false for the vices. And he is a transformation for the body. You could be for the light and all things for the outer world, for the deceptive, the confusing, clinging to the outer forms, clinging to what was ever lost and tangled for the after. Enlighten one season also the objects, with the magic with shows in place, with all objective with things, and become helpful for the friends, for the uncreated, with the all the pure. Nothing else is the manifestation for the ground, for the ultimate truth, and we find before the enlightenment, ever running for the mind, for the consciousness within. Conscious, shut for the confusing blindness, in which you have a source of passion for the actions and desires, and after enlightenment becomes that self-eliminating wisdom for the merit. Virtues spring from it for the ultimate truth, and there is not even a wisdom for here who answers that run. For this is the Dharma, exhausted for the corporeal real, the form, the built, the four elements, when we obtains the enlightenment for the illness, suffering from it for the after that becomes two with the one body. Your cloud is for the firmament, for this is the clouds for the basic, from the clinging of the absolute truth, and there is nobody alone. This is the demon for the demon for the creating of the troubles and obstructions, and seem too real to before. One alignment for the realization for the natural truly. Become protectors for the diamond and to keep yourself for the greed, the giver, the consistent for the taints and numerous accomplishments. This is the ultimate truth, for there's no beatles and no demons at all for the intimate, the realm for the distance, dharmas exalted for all the vehicles of the ultimate teaching, the bounds for here, the tantras, the mantras, maybe the bandra, there is the elements for the come to gathering. One to see for those who form appear. If no one else but the see for the mind created divisions from demons and be the real. For the this is the end of the foolishness, we're not the most stupid, but the time has passed. Wrapped up in the cleanness, the blindness, and the on for the confusion. Demon for the benevolent, for the deities and the matter. This is the real for the subsident. This is the real for the holy one, preaching the blessing to realize it both one for the nirvana. Neither for the exit or excellence, existence from the side of no or nor existence for the this is the form for you. This is the realizing for the ground for the nature of ignorance, and maybe the form for the awareness and clouded unstable, like reflection for the moon to rippling water, become transparent enough for the clear for the shining for the crystal for this is the sun, light brights in the free for the obscuring clouds, night to the end transcending for the forms of blindness and ignorance and confusion for the this is the vanish without a trace. This is the thought, this is the truth, this is the half for the experience within for the against the foolish concept of a demon itself with the ground is the void, yet eliminated for the distant indeed for the murderous and wonderful. I am that the translation for the half forgotten. This is the song for you can reach the mountain peak but never be far for the remove for the containing increase of you. Mind ever starve for the stare for the seeking of distractions, enough for the contemplating and love of the compassion, forgotten about all the differences between we and ever anybody else who is meditating for the you can be in hell for the over the head for this is the rule by the power of prestige, imperable enough for myself to be meditating for the whispering truth. This is the forgotten about all of what is said for the written and printed books, and this is the beginning of the study for the eternal truth. Lost inside the knowledge for the ignorance, accustomed to be with the side for the solitude. Upon this earth for the solitude. Upon this earth. Upon this earth for the solitude. Upon this earth. Upon this earth for the solitude. Upon this earth for the land for the victorious ones who live. This is the same for the not for the known. This is like a beauty for the faint. Earth is a 10th direction for the end. It can be the turn of manner for the norm. The karma for the pay the homage and the giving you the offerings. And you can be the holy master for the bone that can find the seas for the reliance. Drinking for the heavenly nectar for the sincere and supremes. And you can be the truth for the other and your other freedom. He is a supreme. He is a divine for the false for the vices. He is a transformation for the body. You can before the light and all things for the outer world for the deceptive and confusing. Clinger into the outer rooms. Cleanness to one's rooms. Everlust and tangled for the after. Enlightenment one sees all to the objects. But the magic which shows the plays and all the objective of things have become helpful for the friends, for the uncreated, for the all the pure. Nothing after the manifestation for the realm, for the ultimate truth that you can find before the enlightenment. Ever running for the mind, for the consciousness within. Conscious, shut for the confusing you blindness, and wherever you have a source of passion for the actions and desires, and after enlightenment becomes that self-illuminating wisdom for the merit, virtues, spring from it for the ultimate truth, and there is not even a wisdom for the hero who enters that realm, for this is the Dharma exhausted for the corporeal real, the form, the built, the four elements, for the means that obtains the enlightenment for the illness, suffering from it for the after that becomes two with the one body. Your cloud is for the firmament, for this is the clouds for the basic, for the clinging of the absolute truth, and there is nobody alone. And this is the demon for the demon for the creating of the troubles and obstructions that seem too real to before. One alignment for the realization for the natural truly. Become protectors for the diamond and to keep yourself for the greed, the giver, the consistent for the taints and numerous accomplishments. This is the ultimate truth, for there is no beatles and no demons at all for the intimate, the realm for the distance, dharmas exalted for all the vehicles and the ultimate teaching, the fountains we hear, the tantras, the mantras, maybe the bandra, there is the elements for the come to gather. One to see for those who form appear. If no one else but the see for the mind created divisions and demons and the beat of the real for the this is the end of the foolishness without the most stupid for the time has passed. Wrapped up in the cleanness, the blindness, and lingered on for the den of confusion. And demon for the benevolent, for the deities and the matter. And this is the real for the subsident. And this is the real for the holy one, grace and the blessing to realize it both one for the nirvana. Neither for the exit or excellence, existence for the side of no or nor existence, for the this is the form for you. This is the realizing for the ground for the nature of ignorance, and maybe the form for the awareness and clouded unstable, like reflection for the moon to rippling water, become transparent enough for the clear for the shining for the crystal for this is the sun, light brights in the free for the obscure clouds, night to the end transcending for the forms of blindness and ignorance and confusion, for this is the vanish without a trace. This is the thought, this is the truth, this is the half of the experience within, for against the foolish concept of the demon itself with the ground is the void, yet eliminated from the distant indeed with the murders and wonderful. I am that the translation for the half forgotten. This is the song for you can reach the mountain peak but never be far for the remove for the containing caprice of you. Mind ever start from the stare from the seeking of distractions, enough for the contemplating and love of the compassion, forgotten about all the differences between we and ever anybody else who is meditating for the you can be help with over the head for this by the power of prestige, imperable enough for myself to be meditating for the wisdom of the truth. This is the forgotten about all of what is said for the written and printed books, for the knowing and the close. The two I lost for the smallest of rope that will fit. The bit for the crown for you to know the mind that would dress. You for the going and home, for the glad to not believe it, for the will to stop that breath, for the looking a little more, for this such a curious earth. And I'm glad that I did not believe it, for the something was never found, for the sense of the mighty autumn of the afternoon, for the left leaving of the ground, for this is the precious moldering. This is the wandering of the deer, for that can stop, for the death of the blessing of the house, and dare to see a soul, dare to see a soul, for the likeliness of mind, for the what the white can heat, for the couch and door, red for the fire, for the comment, for the tent, for the vivid, for the poor, for the vanishing of the conditions, and the quivering of the forging of the night, for the light, for the color is anointed, for the blaze, and village, for the even the ring, for the simple food you can find yourself within the impatient, maybe for the blaze and the designated delight. This is not right, or will never lost, was unprepared for the quarter to find, and that's so thirsty. Climbed away for the weary lead, afoot for exploring, for the purple territories and territory, for the shore, for these are the legions to overcome. You will find your colors taken on that revolution day. How many bullets for the barracks and how many royal scars? How many promoted for this is to be the soldiers of a brow? I can wait to grieve for the hold, the pools, the pull of it for this is the use of the least to push that for joy. Breaking up with the feet for the tip of the drunken, no pebble, enough for the smile, for this is not the liquor, for the that was all. The powers, the pain, the standard for the discipline, for the till the weights and hang. This to be the giants that will wilt, and it was to come to carry them on. For this is the ecstatic moment where we can find the anguish and pain for the quivering and racing. The rest is the ecstasy, beloved hour for the pittance of year, contested for the farthings. This would be the tears, and this would be the understanding. This would be the joy. This would be the hype. This would be that little boy that died for the beauty, for that was only scarce enough for to be adjusted for the tomb, for who died for the truth was slain to adjoining in you. Question yourself softly, for I have failed. Or for the beauty replied, for I am the truth, for these two are one, for the brethren, you be the kinsman, me at night. We walk through the twine between the rooms until the miles for the reaching of the lips, and this is the covering up of our names. This is not for the nothing to know you, except for the reading of setting and sentencing, silently for the revealing of the eyes to see no maybe no speaking. Extreme, a call for the day, for the manner, for the shame, for this to be the pity, on the soul for the jury that voted him. Made for the familiar soul of a familiar, for the extremity, for you cannot find the agony. You use it for death, for the acquainted, for the tranquility, for the friends, and you can find you still pass without a hint, for this is no matter for the end. This is the understanding, this is the learning, this is the feathers, this is the wine, divine, the beauty, for this is the felt, for the feeling of the funeral inside of my brain. You keep on swinging, you keep singing, you keep on passing me for the only yellow of the kind. The chimes and finding the rhymes, and when I take a place into the summer to find that bro, fall or tune, for this is the sweeter than the mist. Maybe on the need for the noon, for this is the sun coming to shine. Soon you will be. My life closed for the twice, before it closed, and yet it remains to see. The third event to me was so huge it can be hopeless enough to conceive, for this is the twice befell, departing of all that we know for heaven, and all we know for the hell. This is the separation. This is you shall know why, for you went to for the taste of liquor. It was enough for the thankful, for the scoops inside of the pearl, for the vast upon you, for the such an alcohol, for the view of the dew, ends for the molten blue, landlords for the drunken of a bee, the butterflies for the renounced and drowned. What who can find a drink for the more, for the swinging of your hat, windows to run for the little, for the tip of the leaning against the sun. This is the hoping for the dare for the soul, for to find out why he for the crash between that door. I anointed with the blazing of the patient, enough for the designation, for you are that foot to explore the purple territories and the shores. Who will never lose that? A precious moldering pleasure it's been to meet an antique book just addressing for the century war. A privilege, you guess. The vulnerable hand to take for the warning, warming our own, a passage backward to make the times when you were young. Quaint options to inspect the knowledge to unfold. What concerns with the mutual mind to literature for the old, for the what interests in finding a scholar most. What competitors ran enough for the it was a certainty. A man, a living woman, a girl. A war down for the D5 for the this is the centuries before the traverse familiar enough that you should come down to the town for you can find your dreams come true. Dreams were born. A presence is enchantment you begging not to go. The volumes in the shake for the villains in the hair for the tantalizing you just you to know. So much madness for the divineness of sense, for the discerning eye, for the senses darker than madness and the majority, for this all prevail, for the accent, for the accent. You are the same, for the you are the straight away, for the dangerous to handle that chain enough. You because you cannot stop for the death, but you can kindly stop for me, for the carriage and on ourselves, for the immortality, for the slowly drove, heaving the safe for the hates, for this to have to put away for the labor of the trust, the leisure, too, for the civility, to civil, the past, the school for the children played, this is the real, the lesson scarcely done for the passing of fields of grazing grain, passing the setting sun, past before that house for the seam to swelling of the ground, for the roof was scarcely enough visible, for this to be mounded, sense for the tis of the century, for each fort and short, The end of the day for the sunrise, and this is the heads towards eternity. Understanding that you can be the fragile. You can be like a book for take us to the land away. Any course is like a page for the prancing of poetry. Traverse enough at the pores to take without the oppressive toll. How frugal it is for the chariot, for the bears, for the human soul, for you can be. More like this for the tree, for the breathing of thing. Taking what you can find yourself as an impact. Navigate yourself to the future with understanding. The knowing. The unknown. That wave to grief. Your life closed in a static moment. It was this for the anguish to pay for the clean, quivering ration, the ecstasy for each beloved hour, for the sharp pittiness of the year, for the contested farthings enough for you to heap the tears. You're going to heaven and I don't know when, for the praying not to asking but how, indeed for the too astonishing, for the thinking, for the answering, for the going to heaven and to them and them. It sounds of this for the be gone, for the shores of flocks that come home at night, for the shepherds of the arm, pepper herbs perhaps you could be going to, for this is the understanding that you have that safe in the place when you could be the smallest of the road, feeling it fit for the down, for the gown, for the crown, for this is to be the mind, for the dressing of what's good.
I was dumb enough to think that I was stupid, enough to think that I was maybe dumb enough for the button. Maybe you can calm down for the winter deception, let yourself down. This is not the punishment for being punished for. Every time that I do for the right thing I do, I get fucked over the trying for the best and the giving it all. But here I am, still not enough, but still good enough. For this is the camera for roll, the torture for the inside of the memories and the happier times for yourself with a smile. Poses laughter and good times when I look back in the field of soup. And the real and just shelter for the one to have the better yet to go. For this is the not the good. Many a question know me, but they never know. Knowing the truth and never bothering to ask is sometimes getting. That's the way we get fucked up for the loneliest moment in life. This is the watching of the whole world falling apart. For this is to do nothing but stare blanking. If you look loved, and then why would you leave me in departure? And we're just between me and you. For the not thinking that I'm the same person that I used to be. For the not happy and not so fun. For the guessing just numb enough. For the after all. For maybe after I learned my lesson for love just isn't for me to come. They go always. Go missing. Sometimes you have to go missing for the people that only find your care, for the missing that you can find your thinking already. Maybe laugh, and this is the breaking point. This is the every moment when the heart starts to break the silence, for the lumping in the throat, for the every feeling that you had begins to realize it's all going to come crashing down at that very moment, for the realization the magical, it won't save me there. There's no happy ending for you ever to start to believe that you're down, for the individuality is right for the wrongs that have been done to us. Think our job's to hang on for the best to recover and let that universe take care of the rest. Not today with the future, for the she said that day in the future, for the I'll be able to understand why things went this way. Did it all for the subtlety for going to make sense to me, and just the answer for what you could think, for the protecting of me was doing me favors because I need something to wear. Whether the sorry, the sadness and pain and anger, for not to feel that, for the heartache is there always to send that, for you awake, texting knowing you're up all night. For this is the scene when your love and disappears and someone left you wanted to pray for you. It's not the sake for me, for this is to say I'm so sorry that I'll be sorry, but I'll never trust you again. For the remember this is your doing, I'll never trust anyone with my heart again, for this was painful, and this is the one for the work, for you can't fix us and we can just mess it up again. For the matter, maybe that's why we'll still connect, and that's when I want the feelings for the anymore. For this is the day I'm emotionally numb, tired, for they can make away pieces of paper don't discover. Maybe the people I give it away to, the people who don't deserve it, dedicated to everyone who wonders why I'm writing about them, and I am. And this is the people for the killing, for the time, for the chance, for this is the planting the seed, for the torching of the earth, because your last flowers got squashed by somebody else, and constantly thinking of the ways to stay away from those ones who hurt me, for the always popping up that never happen. It's the months, it's the time, it's the torturing of the mind, for this is the stability for the emotions, and maybe the door closing behind you and locking and throw away the keys and never forgotten. No whether or not you can understanding something that you believe you could be a sad person, a sad song, a diary, a reason to love, a reason to know you, for this is the terribly looking for ways to never the shadow, to remember forever my heart for the line. Beyond that, not to be a bad person, but this to find itself for the boredom, understanding of you, the key now.